Right now, we welcome on a very, very special guest for you guys. I mean, absolute steel curtain, some would say.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Absolute numbies. The leading attendee for your Boston College Eagles, the man, the myth, Captain America.
Yeah,
I'm saying I could do a better intro, but
that's what he's
Jacob
getting
Fowler,
to do. Yeah.
welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Yeah, perfect for having me. Excited to be here.
We're fired up here. I mean, we got a lot to get into right now. I honestly did not expect that we could get you on the podcast this quickly.
I hit him up
Big
last
season
night.
coming. Yeah. I mean, you're firing on all cylinders. How are the boys doing in the off season here?
Yeah, the boys are doing good. We had a big group back at school this summer, putting in the hours. You know, you play a long season, you miss out on a few weeks that some other teams get for not playing in that last game. So we got to work pretty quick, and it's been fun and pretty excited for what's ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, if I can leak our conversation after that championship game, you came up to me and said, we're going to win it all this year. How are you feeling right now, and is that what the fans should expect right now back at Conte?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously going into last year, we had some expectations going in that, you know, we knew we had the group in the room that could do something special. And, you know, we had a special run. You know, you want to win that last game. And, you know, it's hard to put everything you worked for 1 year into looking into your sophomore season to say that you're going to base your whole year on winning one more game, because it's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it stays the same for us that we have a mission to, you know, just be the best version of our team by, you know, April. And I think if we build the right way throughout the year, that hopefully April 13th next year is a little different result.
Yeah, 100%. But I think what's going to help the most is you having experience of 1 year now, though. You know what it's like going on the road. You know what it's like to play in those big games. You know what it's like to just be in the locker room every day and work with the boys to figure out a way to get there. So, and you guys got some talent coming in this year, too.
This roster is stupid.
I mean, it was last year, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
But this year, too, it's like you said, like we got plenty of guys. We got the team to do it. It is stupid, though.
Like running through it, I was like, okay, so Cutter, Will are gone, and then I'm like, he's back. Like, I don't understand. And then you guys added a lot of transfers too. Like, it's still loaded. You're ready to rock here. Like, what's it been like? This new group, obviously, your second year back. So now, I mean, how good you guys were as with so many freshmen last year.
Mm-hmm.
Also stupid, but now you're a lot of sophomore talent coming back too. So like, what's this new chemistry like with you guys gelling in the offseason so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great. Obviously, we've had a few guys that have started to be able to play together at some of these, you know, events over the summer. So it's always exciting to kind of think of what next year could look like. And I think the biggest key for us is, you know, returning our two captains, which is something that a lot of teams don't get to say. So I think that's going to be the biggest part of our team, is returning that leadership and those guys that have been here from, you know, when we didn't play in a national championship to how last year went. That, you know, I think it's going to be a great mix of, you know, young and experienced talent next year on our roster. And I'm excited for that, you know, first series coming up.
Let's go. Have you guys? So I love that the Hockey East is like miles ahead of the Big Ten, at least releasing schedules and everything.
Everyone is.
So everybody is. But I mean, looking at your schedule right now, is anybody just juiced for a specific series? Like, obviously the Beanpot coming up, we'll get into that. But the non-conference, I mean, you start with Michigan State. Is that something that everybody's like, I mean, talking about in the group chats right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not look ahead. Obviously, the BU weekend is always a big weekend that, you know, everybody in Boston and, you know, playing Northeastern, the Beanpot, like those are all games that, you know, it's not difficult to try to get up for those games. But I think Michigan State's something we're all pretty excited for. You know, we have a lot of guys that have played for the national team, and, you know, a lot of players on that team they know, and coaches as well. So I think we played them twice last year, and, you know, we got the better of them. So I think they're going to be pretty hungry, and we probably pretty good atmosphere. And from what I've seen from Michigan State, they're going to do the same. So it's hard not to look ahead to that now, and, you know, mid-October, but super pumped to get to Mon and play in that series.
Going against the Iceman in his building.
I'm looking at their schedule right now, and I saw Western Michigan. I thought they were at the Lawson, but they're at home.
Yeah, now that would be fun. You guys definitely haven't played at Kalamazoo yet, but That's a place you need to get to. That and the Gut. So you're going to Gutterson Fieldhouse
Oh yeah,
this season. How fired up are
we
you?
just had a Vermont guy on.
We had
last
Jens
week.
Richards on last week. He was talking a ton of shit.
Yeah. No, he wasn't.
I think you guys did pretty well
I
against
mean-
them last year. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a good team. I think they were good last year, and I think they're bringing a lot of guys back from what I know. And,
Mhm.
you know, there's no nights off in college hockey, as I'm sure every single guy that's said on this podcast. So I don't think it matters if you're number one or, you know, somewhere that's down the road. But I think for us going to Vermont's going to be exciting. I think obviously last year we went to Maine as our big road trip, and, you know, that wasn't the most fun of road trips for us. And I've heard that, you know, it's a great building in Vermont, and it's a great town. So I'm looking forward to it. I know the seniors and some older guys really enjoyed it. So hopefully lives up to it.
Yeah. Obviously, you played at some great barns last year and you got to experience a lot, especially, you know, the Frozen Four and that, you know, that sold out arena. But was there a moment last year in any game where you just looked around, whether it was at home or on the road, where you're just like, wow, this is just a nasty atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to be grateful for playing in the moment because, you know, over the last 24 months, my career shifted from, you know, youth hockey to playing we had the number one team in the country last year for a lot of years. So it was a big jump, and kind of the moments I always dreamt of as a kid was playing in those big, meaningful games and rivalry games. And I always like to look around and soak it all in. And I think the biggest one was when we played BU at home, there were students lined up outside, and you always hear rumors about, you know, football and basketball for some big games. It's like that. And, you know, I get to the rink pretty early to have students outside already. It was pretty wild. And then they like sang the national anthem. You know, we had the Bruins,
I remember that.
you know, anthem singer singing, and you couldn't even hear them on the ice because it was just students on both sides behind the net. That just those moments that give you goosebumps, that it was like, you know, bigger than a game. But, you know, once that ended, it was time to go in, you know, 6 points against BU for that series. And, you know, the students were right behind us.
That was that was a turning point. I mean, you guys were good like all year, like you said, but after that happened, I was like, these guys are gonna be tough to beat.
Just bringing back Conti Forum, like back to what it, you know,
Yeah,
was
we
with
just
Johnny
we just did the
Gaudreau
video with Cutter Gauthier and golfing, and he's just talking about just the atmosphere, what it was like going from his freshman season to his sophomore season, and you're seeing sellout every weekend.
Yeah.
What's it like to be a part of that though?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said, there was a lot of expectations coming around the hockey team this year coming into school as freshmen. And, you know, I think our first game when we beat Quinnipiac, there was a lot of unknowns. Like, we didn't know how good our team was going to be. We had 13 new players, you know, a lot of inexperience for our freshman class. And, you know, to win that game and to come back for our home opener, we didn't really know what to expect when it came to what the student population was going to look like at the game, what the fans were going to be. And I mean, it was completely sold out. Every student seat was taken, standing room only. I want to say it was a whiteout. Like, it was just,
dude, it was just nasty.
crazy. And to see that for our home opener after we've only played one game was nuts. And, you know, there weren't any games where I felt that it was lacking from the students and the fans. It was pretty wild. And, you know, the best part was they traveled well too. I want to say, like, even the Frozen Four, where we were all the way in Minnesota, we had a ton of BC fans, and, you know, playing in the Garden, they were always pretty loud. So it always felt like a home ice advantage, no matter you know, where we were with our fans.
Yeah,
Can we do a full student night? Because obviously,
I was just going to bring that up too, dude. That was my
on
question.
each side, and then they're packing the upper bowl. Can we move them down? Just nothing but students for one night, or like, you know, standing room
I
only?
think there's enough students there to pack the whole arena, but then the season ticket holders and stuff get screwed. But it's one game.
They could sit out one night.
It would be electric.
Watch from the bar. Can we get your endorsement on that? If not, all good.
Oh, I mean, as long as my parents and a couple of friends and family got some seats, I'll go with it. But
Family's
I mean,
there. Family's
Families and friends give tickets from the players, but everyone else is student body. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the students were just awesome. I mean, I want to say they had to change the ticketing for how students could get into games because, you know, a real big first game at home was we played Denver at school, and that game was just madness when it came to the students. Just, you know, it was like a blackout game, and you see videos from some of your friends and classes of kids just pushing through the doors and everything, and it was just wild. Like, a lot of guys go on the bench right before warm-ups, and right when they let the students in there, at 6 o'clock, you just see people full sprint into their seats. That the passion they had was just like, all right, let's play well for them tonight. They're coming here on their Fridays and Saturdays to watch us play. So it's, give them something to cheer for.
Yeah, give
Man,
them a
if
show.
you're like,
that was a great game too.
if you're like a 16, 17-year-old kid with a chance to commit to BC and you get to go watch a game on on a trip, how do you
number
not say
one versus
yes?
number two?
How do you not say yes though when you see that student body though? Like pretty hard
Yeah.
to not play in front of that.
I mean, just ridiculous.
I want to talk about your path. I mean, coming from Florida, how many goalies, especially putting up your numbers, have come from Florida though? What how did you get into being a goalie, and when did it all start? When did you know, gosh, I can play college hockey, I got a good chance?
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty funny story. I was pretty fortunate to play with a few pretty notable players as well. I first got recruited to be a goalie full time by our coach Ryan Brindley, and his son was Gavin. And I played forward at the time, but I want to say I was around 7 or 8 when I got the call to go play on the statewide travel team, and he needed me to be a goalie, so I played goalie and did good enough that he kept calling me back to keep playing for the team. And I don't know if I would have made that team as a forward. So loved being a goalie, stuck with it, and was pretty fortunate to play with Gavin for about 8 years with the Florida Alliance. And then he went to juniors, and goalies always take a little longer. I went the prep school route for about a year and a half, and then got to the USHL, and the rest is kind of history from there.
Jeez. Gavin's a decent player.
Yeah. Did you get to know Seamus Casey, another Florida boy that was on that USA team? You've known him, I'm sure, for a while as well then?
Yeah, he so I think when I was younger, they had a rule where in Florida you had to play for your travel team, which was AA at the time, and then we would have our Florida team that would go play in these AAA tournaments on weekends. And our team was, Seamus, Gavin, me, I wanted Clint Levens, who's on Providence now, Dubinsky, who's on Minnesota Duluth. I mean, we had just an absolutely loaded team. Aaron Schwartz, who's going to Quinnipiac this year, was on it for a while. Like we just had so many kids that you knew were going to play at the next level, and it was all kind of a testament that we had a coach that played at Miami of Ohio and played pro hockey that kind of knew what it took. And kids in our team got pretty mature at a young age with doing the right things, on and off the ice to, further your hockey career. And I still stay in touch. That's what was so special about going to World Juniors with Gavin and Seamus, to be a part of that. Old memories, new memories made with them and their families was pretty cool. So not too many Florida players get 3 guys to win a World Juniors. So it was,
that's
pretty cool. I come home to that.
Pretty impressive.
It's going to be a trend.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it's growing down
it's
south
growing.
right now.
They just won a cup there, and it's growing in Florida, which has got to be pretty cool for you to see. Obviously your whole hockey path, your whole career since you were a kid, but now to see, Tampa's won like 2 to 3 cups, the Panthers won 1, but just how much have you seen the youth hockey grow in Florida?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy for me to see, obviously, going to all these, hockey populated cities, like, being at Boston, it's, kids either play hockey or lacrosse, it seems like, up there, where down here it's more outdoor sports because it's, the state of Florida. That to see the trend that there's been a Florida team in the Cup final the last, I want to say 4 or 5 years now, it's a crazy trend. And, where I live, it's kind of in between Tampa and Fort Lauderdale. So to see the growth that both of those teams have done with their outreach to grow the game and, the learn to skate and making hockey more accessible has been super cool for me to see. And I think with all the inclusion and everything that, everybody has a chance to play. I played in a couple sled hockey tournaments here that, there's just so much hockey and so many people that have fallen in love with the game that I think the ceiling is super high for Florida hockey. And hopefully there's more and more kids that, stick with it and don't try to leave home too soon because they think it's not going to work. But it's super cool, and I'm pretty fired up to see what the next wave of Florida hockey looks like.
I mean, we're the state of hockey, and we can't find a cup right now. So I think Florida's on the come up, and I mean, just looking at the weather behind you, I'm jealous. But
yeah, no, that looks sweet.
Could be worse.
It's a little warm.
Who's your guy growing up, or maybe I don't know? Give me your top 3 goalies growing up. I'm guessing. Well, Luongo probably a little before your time, but he's got to be one of them. No, being a Florida guy.
Let him pick.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's a little wonky. USA Hockey always gets mad with a few of them because Marc-Andre Fleury's always been
Yeah.
my favorite player of all
Mm.
time growing up. Um, my parents went to West Virginia, and my dad grew up either rooting for Philly or Pittsburgh, and he always rooted for Pittsburgh. That the Penguins were kind of inherited to be my team to root for, and my two favorite players are always Crosby and Fleury. Even now Crosby's still one of my favorite players to watch, and just watching Fleury, the way he just loves playing the game is something that I always find myself feeling the same. I always just like the joy and the camaraderie that comes with playing a sport like hockey, and the success, and it's just so fun to watch him play. So he's got to be my number one, and then it's tough, kind of on the spot here.
I'm sorry, I just threw you in.
Yeah, give me three of them.
Yeah, I mean Fleury was always my guy, but it'd be hard to say I didn't love watching Jonathan Quick. I was still pretty young when it was him and the Kings growing up, and when he went to the Olympics in Sochi and everything, it was super cool to watch that. And then my number three, even though he's not really a number three, would probably be Marty Brodeur is kind of like I just missed like kind of his prime years, and to see how long he was able to play and the way he treated the game and what he did off the ice as well was something that I always was pretty fond of, and he had a pretty decent career as well. So those are probably my three guys that I've just loved to watch growing up.
Yeah, I mean those are all guys with long, just tenured careers. Like, you gotta love just eating rubber for a living if you're gonna play as long. Like Quick's still going, Fleury's still going. Like Billy G just gave Fleury another contract. That doesn't happen if one, you still can't
Fleury's
produce,
always
and
gonna
two,
be here.
I mean, yeah, but you got to love the game at that point. He's a stud. We love him in Minnesota. Nice guy.
Yeah.
But
how's it feel to know that, in the next whatever, how many years, 1 to 3, you're going to be, skating amongst those guys? Like, you've already been to dev camp with the Canadiens now. Clap it up for being drafted by them, by the way. We'll say
that's got to be a good feeling. And
pick.
We were just talking again to Cutter during the video, but he said, they have one of the best fan bases. In the NHL. So I mean, what's it like to be, hear your name called by them?
Yeah, I mean, I get goosebumps every time I kind of think, if one day I get that chance to play in the Bell Center and play in front of those fans, because hockey's a way of life up there. It's people's day-to-day happiness is based on how well the Canadiens are doing, and I think for me, my biggest dream in hockey has always been to win a Stanley Cup, and I think if I get that chance one day to win a Stanley Cup and do it in the city of Montreal, I think it doesn't get much bigger than that in sports all over the world. So it'd be special. I got a lot of family up there that's of Montreal descent, and telling me they need to work on my French, but it's an exciting time, and it's hard to not want to look ahead and think about that future. But yeah, I'm pretty fired up for it, and just want to keep doing the right things at school to give myself that best chance to have an impact and get an opportunity one day there. So just sticking with it.
I was going to say, I love this, your most recent Instagram with the merci to the Canadiens, and then just all the boys ripping you in the comments.
Yeah, can we get some explanation on some of the comments? I mean, those are that's my favorite part about just hockey players, man. It's just
every
time.
post you just got to get ready for what the boys are
you don't know
come in
what's
and say.
coming out of someone's mouth. Yeah. Can you give me some examples?
Like who's the most ruthless on your team? Colby Ambrosio said only knows one word in French. That's pretty good. Off ice weapon.
Yeah.
Cheese. I mean,
I got some I got some good comments on some of those off ice picks from dev camp, but I don't know. Our freshmen were I shouldn't say more ruthless, but the upperclassmen can only say so much, that it was more if you're freshman, we're chirping you a bit, then maybe it's over the top. But it was all good fun. I think the coolest part about having such a big freshman class is, I mean, we're so close with one another. Like, I've been in Boston all summer. I still FaceTime those guys pretty much every night to see what they're doing. Always on the phone with all those guys. So it's we got a pretty close knit family up there, but I definitely got to stay off Instagram a bit with some of those guys.
I mean,
that's how you build team.
The Insta game's hard though. I mean, Montreal, and then you got the
it's not
team.
my game.
The team Bauer pick's good, and then we got
clean.
the Frozen Four walk in clean. I mean,
with the mullet. Are we bringing back the mullet this year?
I love the one with the boys around the net. Like, as it's just as real, but
I don't know if we're gonna get the mullets back this year. We got, at BC, we're supposed to be, very professional, obviously, kind of do the right things, look the right way, all kind of look the same. And when we had kind of that long hair with the pretty tight on the sides, our coaching staff didn't really like it. And their message was kind of like, well, you guys better play well now that you got mullets. So our first game of the Hockey East Championship, we almost blew it. We had a 3-goal lead against UConn and had to hold on to that one. And, probably the most, the most depressive feeling after a playoff win that I've ever had. So I don't know if we'll be doing the mullets again this year. But,
they would have had a barber shop in the room.
Yeah, I mean, we all were kind of going to the same guy, and they were just shaving it down the sides. Who's next? So
yeah,
boys liked it. Some of the people around school liked them, but the coaching staff definitely wasn't on board with those.
That's fair.
Maybe we'll bleach this year. We'll find something.
Maybe just a muzzy.
Stash.
Yeah. I don't know how that goes over, but
a little muzzy for the boys. I thought it looked clean. I mean, making it to the national championship, not bad.
Yeah,
that's it. I do remember that UConn game, like just a late over got covered. So, and a W.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
You can barely see it under the mask. I want to know if the Iron Man helmet's coming back this year or not.
Ooh, good question.
It is. It's coming back. It's going to be a little bit different with the colors and everything. It should be done in the next few days, and I think it's something that bearing success will always kind of be a part of me, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, especially with the BC colors matching up pretty close with it.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Good thinking. If you don't mind sharing, who does your mask?
I work with Vice Design, so they got a design team, and then the paint that goes on. So got a couple special things on the back, doing another version of a Florida license plate on the back. So I'm pretty fired up for that, and parents like it. I know a lot of my relatives, think it's super cool, and I would consider myself like a comic fan or anything, or like a Marvel super fan, but I really like how the mask has been turning out, and it's made me feel a little bit more like fan of that, with all the gear that's starting to look pretty similar to superheroes.
Tony Stark out there. Are these the pads for the year? They're one of your the Bauer picture.
Yeah, those are going to be around. So I don't know. All dark hasn't really been my game. So we'll see.
It's going to go well with the helmet, though.
Those are nice.
It's going to go well with the helmet, and it does.
So we'll see if that Michigan State weekend. We'll see if they come out with the dark jerseys.
Do we have new jerseys for you guys this year? Because I think your alternates last year was it the Beanpot when you wore it the first time? It won like Jersey of the Year in NCAA. Those gold with the big eagle.
We wore those for the BU weekend. Our first game we wore those, and it was just because we knew we were getting jerseys. We just didn't know what they were going to look like, one or two, when we were going to wear them for the first time. And to come into the rink to play BU and you see just sick jerseys hanging up in the stalls.
Goosebumps.
It was nuts. And yeah, it was wild. They came out so clean. So I think we'll have those. And then I want to say we have everything else back. I just don't think we're doing the Fenway jersey this year. So that one was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the Fenway's sick.
Definitely going to miss that one. But I think we'll still be fitted up pretty nice with our unis this year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got some good options going out there.
Fenway ones. It's hard not to post an Instapic in that.
Yeah, maybe just get new jerseys for the gut.
Just the gut.
Just a gut edition. If I could make one suggestion to the equipment staff there, that could work. It's not Fenway.
Maybe one for the Beanpot.
The Beanpot, yeah.
We're all thinking maybe for the Beanpot, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick
for sure.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? So, I mean, growing up in Florida, obviously, I don't know how much you knew about the Beanpot, but now that you've played 1 year in it, you know how important it is in that area.
I was there last year. It was wet. The student sections, BC on one side, chanting to BU on the other side of the rink. It was like, we're from Minnesota. We have that high school hockey atmosphere, right, where there is both student sections there because they're right next to each other, cities-wise.
Yep.
But you don't get this anywhere else in college hockey but the Beanpot. It's two student sections chanting against each other.
Yeah,
Talk
it's a way of life.
Talk about hearing that between the pipes, Fowler. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that, you hear about, but, I think the biggest thing that our seniors are trying to preach to us is that it's unlike a game you've ever played in with the momentum swings and, the emotion in the game. It's really felt like it was 3 games inside of one, which was something I haven't been able to say as much about hockey games. Like, even playing in the Natty when, we were down, it felt like there were some highs and lows throughout the game, but it didn't feel like, our Beanpot game did, where, BU jumped out quick and was kind of dominating us. And then the game got pretty even. Then we came back and were one shot away from sending it to overtime. That it was just a crazy hockey game. The fans were unbelievable, so loud that definitely learned a lot. Obviously, that loss hurt us. Like, as a group, it really felt like a down moment in the season when, we were playing really good hockey at the time, and, we're 3 minutes short from maybe tying that game up, and who knows what happens in OT. So it was a good experience, I think, for a group that helped us a lot going down the stretch. That, I want to say we went on a pretty good run after we lost that game, that we didn't want to feel that kind of feeling again, and got pretty close. So I think going into this year, the coolest thing about the Beanpot is you can throw records, rankings out the door, that there's 4 teams that just have to win 2 games to win a trophy, which there's not very many tournaments in college hockey where you just win 2 games to be the champions of Boston. So it's pretty special, and playing Northeastern, who I think's won the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years in a row now, is going to be
3
a big game. And you want to be a team that knocks out the defenders of the title, and you want to win that 2 games, and having it be a week apart makes it even harder. It's not just 2 back-to-back night games and you get hot at the right time. You need to put 2 weeks together and still play good on your weekends for the pairwise as well. So it's a tough tournament to win, but definitely a big goal of our team this year coming back, that we missed it last year and need one this year.
Talk about, Northeastern, just a team that shows up at the Beanpot. Like you said, anybody, you just need to play 2 good.
They haven't had the best record going to the Beanpot every last 3 years, but
Harvard
they came out on top.
Harvard's always flying at the Beanpot. And
it's chippy. It's like a playoff game. That was my first time experiencing it in person. On TV, you can still sense like a little higher, tempo in the game, but dude, it was like a Frozen 4 game when I went. It was physical.
Well, just what you said, Jacob, like, even being down in the national championship, it felt like it was more, in reach than the Beanpot. Like, you feel it that much more, what's happening, like how they jumped out on you guys early and then it came back close. Like, it was like almost
it was all
4
BC
games
at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was,
My God.
Yeah, we, their goalie made a couple big saves in the few seconds left in that Beanpot game, and I want to say we had 15 or 20 shots in the third period. Like, we were
just buzzing.
We were right there playing the right way. And I think the biggest thing with our group this year is, they never felt like there was a moment where we felt like we were out of a game. Like, we were down 2 goals to Quinnipiac twice in the game to go to the Frozen 4. I think nobody had a feeling like we weren't going to win that game, which not a lot of groups would have that confidence, especially against a team like that doesn't lose often and doesn't blow leads. So I think this, with our team going back this year, I think it's just bringing that juice that we're never out of a game as a group, and I think the confidence will be the biggest key to our group trying to get back to where we want to be. And it won't be easy. I hope we can win 35 games next year instead of 34 last year, but just trying to take it week by week, that hopefully you win those 4 meaningful games at the end of the year to set yourself up to be immortal.
Yeah, well, you guys got one of them last year. Against Michigan, that was a crazy game. You guys just looked hot the whole game, so at least you guys you have experience, you know what it's like to win in the Frozen 4. This year I don't see why you guys can't get it done. Obviously, like we've talked about, a stacked roster.
33 wins, also not bad.
No, yeah, it's tough to do, man.
College hockey, and 15 in a row.
And you guys are younger, and you're playing against older teams to get there too. It's tough. Yeah. It's a battle. I'm pumped for this season. I'm ready to go. We got to make it out to Conte this year for a game. What game should it be? BU probably.
That's a tough one. There's going to be so many big games this year at home with our group. Like, obviously the BU weekend's always big, but I think one of our most slept on games last year is the one Grinnelli ended up coming to, which was when we played Northeastern. We always get a big crowd from both teams, and I think we knew it was going to be a good crowd, but I want to say it was like a maroon out for the game, and it was just wild. So, I mean, you can't really pick a bad game to come to. The BU weekend's always nuts, no matter if both teams are dead last in Hockey East or the rankings. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting. So, I think you guys definitely need to make the trip out this year. It's
I like
a fun atmosphere at Conti.
I like Maine, November 8th, and it's 10th, but just the 8th game. If we just went to that, that'd be sick. Little payback from last year.
Maine will be good again.
Yeah. We'll see.
That was a tough rink to play in. I want to say it was only like our third or fourth week of the season, and going up there was, definitely helped us down the stretch this year, playing in some other hostile environments. But that was definitely.
I mean, I feel bad for you. You probably got the worst of it. You're right below the student section, just getting beat.
What are some of the worst things you're hearing from their students or any student section?
I just want to hear from them. Like, I gotta hear this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Being a goalie is always tough, especially when you're right below the student sections like that. And a lot of the boys that have played there had let me know, like, they're gonna be laying into you. Try not to listen to it, because you know what? Like, as much as you want to say you're not going to hear it, you're always going to hear a little bit of it, even if you're not fully listening. My mom's name was like getting chanted at warm-ups, and it was like,
you're like,
I kind of knew it was going to be a little long after. We're 2 minutes into just blue line shooting, and I'm already hearing my mom's name. Or if you got scored on in warm-ups, their student section's giving it to me. And the second night we ended up going to a shootout, and it was just relentless. Like, there was one I didn't even get scored on, but the puck landed on top of the net, and they thought the puck went in, and they were screaming and everything, thinking they scored. But they were just relentless all game. And I think that's like, as much as it doesn't feel great in the moment, if you get scored on and they're giving it to you, it's like, you don't want to play in front of an empty alpha. You want it to be like that, and you want it to be as hostile, because the reality of pro hockey is you don't get student sections like that in pro hockey. And,
exactly.
It's super cool to, I guess I could say, enjoy it now, to say I was a part of it, but I don't think we go back to Maine for 2 years, so we'll see.
Like, thank God.
Well, that checks out with what Jens Richards said last week. He's like, I felt like I played a game in warm-ups.
Yeah, like when he went to they do their homework. I mean, the Naked Five, they wait outside for like 2 hours in Orono. It's freezing. Yeah. They're just juiced. I mean, I'm sure some bevies are being had, but
dude, like Fowler just said, though, it's what makes college hockey unique. You do not get that in pro. So. Right. And we're seeing these student sections all across the country just grow and get louder, and that's what's going to keep growing this game. It's just electric.
And we need to move it to the regionals, I would say now, too.
A regional game at Conte would be stupid.
You guys would have hosted one last year. Is that something that you're hoping gets implemented for college hockey going forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I see the Tech jersey behind you, obviously. Like, they came all the way from Michigan Tech to Providence. I mean, they had a big student section in that game. And I think that was kind of the passion you see, that, if they're coming all the way from Michigan Tech to come watch a regional game in Providence, like, I think teams should be hosting it. And, last year, I think if you had, we played Quinnipiac on their banner night, and I think if it would have been us against Quinnipiac at Conti with a chance to go to the Frozen Four, I mean, like, that's a hot ticket right there. And, I mean, both teams were one game away from a BU-BC final this year in college hockey. That, it's always a hard subject, because there's a lot of room for change as the year goes on. It's hard to plan who's going to be where, but, I think as a player, you want it to be, in your home rink as much as possible. And even if you're not playing your home rink, I think, I can't speak for every team, but the regional in St. Louis, like, I think all those teams would have rather played on the road somewhere in front of a bigger crowd or, fan base than what they were able to have there. So,
dude, you're getting me fired up right now. All right, let's go.
Well, that's sick, man. I mean, you play with so much talent, especially on that USA roster, but just like, what is it like just being in that room? I know you're not a player, you're the goalie, right? But like, how does that
skated out?
Yeah, that's true. How does that energy though just feed off of you? Like going back to taking that goal back to BC with some of your BC teammates, but how does that work for you? How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to feel it a little bit when we had the camp in the summer, and they're talking to you about it had been, a long time since USA had won a gold medal overseas. They won it in Canada a few years back, but it had been a long time since, they'd won one in Sweden. And I think for us, you kind of get fired up. Like, you want to be the group that goes and does it. And like, you could just feel the energy. We had a bunch of kids that, had either won U18 Worlds or lost to Sweden in the final.
Yep.
And that mix of guys that have done it / who were there but didn't finish the job was like, we just had all the pieces working in the right direction. And I mean, our whole lineup was just stacked. And a lot of times when you get those kind of powerhouse teams, you have, some divide with guys who do it themselves. I think with us is we could have put any line on the ice at any time. We could have had 5 power play units. Like, it was just crazy, the talent that we had in our team and the buy-in. And, it sucked to lose to Coach Carle in the national championship, but there's a reason why he's having success. And, having a group like we did, he was awesome with managing, how our team was doing, during practice, how long or short to go, what we needed. And I think the coolest thing is in such a short tournament, how we did everything while having just an absolute blast as our team. And having 7 guys from BC go and kind of share the experience with and fly back, like, it was just nuts to kind of have all that. You kind of bring that winning pedigree back to school. Like, we wanted to win 4 trophies this year. And I want to say until we got back after winning, we hadn't, you didn't have a chance to play for one until February. And I think that kind of helped with 7 guys playing in that, international big stage, which was, playing Sweden for a gold medal was, a little bigger than a regular season Hockey East title. But that game maybe doesn't get won if, guys aren't, committed to winning and knowing what it takes, because as you see in the NHL, it's hard to win those one-off meaningful games. And it's never going to be easy. Obviously, everything's a game 7 in college hockey, it seems like. And anytime you can have an ounce of experience over one team, it's going to go a long way.
And just, what was that experience like? Not to bring up Zeev into this again, but, playing for David Carle in the World Juniors and then having to go against him in the finals there, too. Any stories with Coach Carle we can get out of you?
I mean, he's just – I was only with him for that 3-week time or month that we were in Sweden. And I felt like I'd played for him for, 2 years. And I think just the confidence he brings into a room as a coach, he's – obviously a super humble guy and everything. And just the way he approaches the game and, his story with hockey, it's he gets everything he deserves. And, it obviously sucks to lose that game, but to see him with his family and to shake his hand and know that, he's the guy that beat you and, they played a 60-minute better hockey game than you did. You just, you got to tip your cap and, be happy for him, because, next year I want him to feel the same way if we're playing them again and, we win that 60-minute battle. So he was awesome. It was fun to play for him. And, definitely a reason he's, had all the success that he's had.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane what he's done. Do you see him going to the NHL to be a coach, or is he just going to stick it out in college hockey and just keep winning titles? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully for BC's sake, he's
going
to pro. Not building anything crazy there.
Yeah, get him out of the NCHC. I went to UMD, so I hope he deserves a spot in the NHL. I'll say it.
Kick him out.
Let him go. Let him flourish.
Yeah. We got any other segment questions? We're at 50 minutes with him right now.
I mean, we haven't touched on your journey to BC at all, so I just want.
We did the Florida.
Well, yeah. That
you're talking USHL numbers right now.
Yeah, I want to get to the Phantoms because
nasty jerseys. One.
Nasty Jays, nasty name.
How about the Youngstown pick on your Insta too? Not to bring up the Insta again, but the Browns jerseys are probably the sickest jerseys I've seen.
Those are filthy. Yeah, let's talk about those quick.
Yeah, I mean, that was super special. Obviously, you get to see they're playing the Frozen Confines this year in Chicago, and in juniors we got to do something similar when Ohio State played Michigan outside a couple of years ago at the Brown Stadium.
That was a fun one.
Somehow we worked our way into getting an ice lot there to play Cedar Rapids, and credit our equipment manager, Steven Smith. He took over with the jerseys, and none of us knew what they were going to be. We thought they were kind of just going to be a Phantoms kind of silver purple edition outside. And when we saw that they were going to be Cleveland Browns Jays with the numbers in the front, and we had like the helmet wrap and everything, brown pants, like he went all out. It was just special, and we ended up winning that night. So definitely a memory I'm going to keep for a while, and not very many kids in junior hockey get that.
Yep, that's pretty sick.
Just the cleanest Jay, and I like that. Just one guy took it upon himself. He's like, these are gonna be nasty.
He probably got a call from the NHL the next week, but yeah, we need Jay. That's gross.
And then okay, let's talk about your run in the Clark Cup then too. Just looking at, I saw like a .952 save percentage. So that's disgusting. And then hoisting that bad boy. So talk about that run.
Yeah, I mean, I was beyond fortunate with our staff that was there, and our captain there is now going to be a sophomore captain at BU, and I think that says a lot about kind of the character and the leadership we had in that room. That we had a group that I think we started out that year 2-6 or 2-7, and individually I want to say I was like 1-6 to start the year. And it wasn't looking too hot from the start, but our team just really bought in, and probably one of the closest groups I've ever played with. And we just went on an absolute heater in the middle of the season. And then when it got to playoffs, our kind of team motto was like, you kind of you take your pick. It was either you have exit meetings, which no one's ever had a day where they say they're looking forward to exit meetings, or you don't have them because you win it all. And we just got red hot. We won that first series, and then we knew we were going to have to play Chicago, who undoubtedly one of the most skilled teams, in recent years with with Celebrini and
Fantilli
and all the guys that they had on that team. Yeah, I mean they were loaded, and we ended up winning in 4, and we then had to go to Fargo, which Fargo was the best team in the league by far all year, numbers wise, and to go in and sweep, we kind of felt like the underdogs. And I think something about Youngstown is to get to rep that kids don't like playing there because it's not always a fun atmosphere. The USA kids don't like ever playing there. And we had 7,000 people there for Game 3 of the Clark Cup, which you see that in the OHL, but you don't always see that in the USHL. And to have that as your last game ever in junior hockey, to hoist the Clark Cup in front of 7,500 people, that were just sneaking in at that point, it was wild. And I think that was just another notch on the belt to have that winning pedigree. And people are lying to you if they say it doesn't feel good to win championships. So super special, and I still stay in touch with that whole staff, and definitely some bragging rights whenever we play a BU with some of those guys.
I love it. Good Wedding Crashers quote right there, by the way, too. Another notch on the old belt.
Yeah, just watched it a couple days ago.
God, such a good flick. I might have to do it to recover tonight. But yeah, how heavy is that cup, by the way?
The Clark Cup?
It looks effing never held.
I think it's like hollow inside.
I
don't remember though. I've seen it before once.
Yeah, we broke it pretty bad with the bottom. It's like all wood, and I mean there's pictures of cereal, ice cream, kids, like you would have thought it was the Stanley Cup the way we were celebrating with it. And
as it should be.
The staff was just awesome, and we were pretty fortunate to win it at home. The bus ride to Fargo was awful from Youngstown. I want to say we were the furthest 2 teams in the entire league. So to win it at home was nice, and I have to wait 17 more hours on a bus with it to get home. So it wasn't too heavy in that moment to lift it over your head, but when we were carrying it around for all the celebrations after, it definitely got a little bit heavier each time.
You're like, holy shit, this thing packs a punch.
No, it's quite an amazing resume so far for you, Jake. I mean, it's been not impressive, bad. And hopefully we just keep adding to that this season. But I just want to note too, there's like college hockey goalies now seeing some time in the NHL and doing well. I want to get to, I know I asked you like who you idolized growing up, but like just recently we've seen some goalies take the leap into the NHL. that played college hockey. What's it been like to see that for you though, knowing that you're taking the college route, you're one succeeding, but two, you're most likely going to get a chance at the next level. What's it like seeing these former, in recent years, these former college goalies succeed
Evan
in the
Levi.
NHL? Yeah, Swayman. There's been plenty of guys I can't
Hunter
name.
Shepard. What's up?
Hey,
Yeah.
he's grinded. Yeah,
He's getting there.
he's got a couple. What's it called in AHL?
Couple notches in the old belt. But yeah, you
We'll call that.
go ahead and answer this question.
Couple Calder Cups, but
Yeah, thank you.
It's exciting. I think obviously you have two former college hockey goalies in the top three for the Vezina race this year, with Hellebuck winning, and Demko's up there as well. So it's a big part of why I went to BC is how they've been able to get so many goalies on to the next level and play meaningful games in the National Hockey League. But I think all around college, like you mentioned, Swayman, Ottinger, Hellebuck, all these guys went through the whole college hockey route, with Spencer Knight and Comesso on their way up through it still. Like, you want to be the next guy that's kind of a part of it going through the whole thing. And, Montreal has Caden Primo, who played Northeastern. So
Levi, another one.
I've been fortunate to, I've been fortunate to, have a couple conversations with a few of these guys and understand that the hard thing about being a college hockey player is, once you go, you can't go back. And as a goalie, it's even harder because there's only one net with 2 spots and 32 teams. So I think it's a great time to be an American goalie or, a goalie that's going through the college hockey routes. And like I said, you just want to be the next name on that list.
I think it's going to happen. I mean, those are some notable names, but we've really seen, obviously there's a lot of, successful goalies that come from overseas, but there's more U.S. goalies going now and Canadian for sure. So it's good to see. It's good to see. What else do we got here before we let him go?
I just keep thinking Wedding Crashers quotes. Mine is in the absolute gutter right now, but we touched on USHL getting there. Yeah, I guess I have 2 questions. So one, just mentioning, obviously, a lot of people returning this year for you guys in BC. What was your decision like with that? Did you ever have a doubt, like maybe you're going to start making your jump to the next level, or were you always like, we're running it back, we're taking this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously after the way the season kind of ended with how special it was, I don't think I really had a thought in my mind about going anywhere else but back with the chance to win one more game. And I think it'll be exciting to go back and get that chance, because you can't skip to April. Now it's a long road to get back there, but I think it's going to be super fun for our group to get back together and get on the ice here in the next couple of weeks. And I really think the sky's the limit for this group, because people can do the comparisons, I think, all they want. That last year we had a group that college hockey hasn't seen in a long time, and the cool thing about it is we aren't going to be the same team that we had last year. We're going to be different. We're going to still be a super talented team that can score and play with a lot of pace, but we can have different layers to our team, like we did last year, but in different ways. So we're not a one-trick pony, so to say. And I think it's going to be, pretty evident in our game starting in October that we can find different ways to win, and we have the staff and the team in that room to do it. So I think we're all pretty pumped to get back to Conti.
Yeah, I mean, I was pumped to see Leonard say he's coming back in pro, and that's huge for the squad. Obviously, your boy Will Smith, congrats to him too. Former podcast guest, and we saw him at the Bauer event like we did you at the Frozen Four. But congrats to him on signing his NHL contract with the Sharks. Have you been in touch with him? What was that like when he told the boys?
Yeah, I mean, he's been in Mass all summer, and I mean, I don't want to say you get a feeling, but I mean, you have 71 points to freshman, and
how much more can you do, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he was a obvious snub for the Hobie, top 3 finalists this year, and credit to Macklin on winning it. But you don't want to take anything away from anybody, but we had 4 guys in our team that could have won the Hobie, and people would have
easily agreed
with that, which is pretty special. And credit to those guys for doing those things. And I think for him, it's it'll be evident in a few years to see the decision. And as a teammate, as a good friend of his, you can't hope for anything but for him to do the absolute best and hopefully for him or Cutter, one of them win the Calder next year. But just hope they both have great years, and hopefully down the road it looks like a great decision for him and his family, because I know he's pretty pumped, and Sharks fans should be pretty fired up for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, you could have been a Hobie too with those numbers last season. So
or Richter.
yeah. I mean, and I think it's coming this year. Yeah, if I had to put money on a goalie, I'd give it to you. If that means anything. But we'll see, man. Like you said, you are going to have a new team this year. Figure out new ways to win a little bit. There are different players that are coming in. Obviously, Cutter.
A lot of goals
he buried
to fill.
38 last year too himself. So that's two guys gone, and they're going to represent Boston College well in the NHL. But now with some more talent coming in, you really hope that those guys are just sync right away, and things are looking good.
Next man
BC.
up.
Yep. So. No, Jacob, thanks for coming on today. We want to give you the floor for any shout-outs you want to give, unless you got any other questions, Ellie.
We do got to do the endorphin question, but give us some shout-outs quick while we get ready for that.
I got too many to name. I'd probably just do, obviously, a big shout-out to everyone at Boston College, especially the student section there. So big shout-out to them for everything they did for us this year. I mean, that's got to be the biggest one. And then probably a big shout out to my guys at Bauer Hockey for
Ricky. Let's get a story about Ricky here.
Yeah, Ricky. Perfect segue. I mean, Smitty and Ricky, they're both in Vegas, and I heard Ricky's got these shoes that are apparently the clown shoes. So every time I see him, whether they're on or not, it's Ricky the clown with his clown shoes on. So we'll keep letting him know about that. I'll make sure he tunes in and gets his part. But big shout out to those guys, first class people.
Oh yeah,
awesome at what they do, and super happy to be working with them. And obviously shout out my family. Wouldn't be sitting here doing anything without them. And probably last shout out to all my guys in Youngstown. So
there we go.
Boom, you covered a lot.
Maybe a little reunion coming here with the boys that won it.
I like that.
I don't know, just get together over the summer or something.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Huge for Youngstown. But before we let you go, our endorphin question of the week. We'd like to ask players every week, what's your advice for younger kids, aspiring to play Division I hockey? How about you give some advice to the goalies out there that, maybe want to win a gold and get to Division I hockey?
Yeah, I'd probably just say fall in love with, the stuff people don't like to do. I think fall in love with being at the rink for a lot of hours, and, fall in love with the fact that even if you're not getting the minutes or you're not playing at the highest level that you want, that if you take responsibility for your own game and just worry about yourself getting to where you think you can be, it'll pay off in the long run, because the harsh reality is there's always someone watching, and if you're that good, they will find you. So just sticking to it, stay patient, and just enjoy it, because I'd do anything to go back to being that 9-year-old kid that didn't know where his hockey career was going to go. So just fall in love with it and stay true to who you are.
Let's go. That's a great answer. Oh shit. I mean, because like you said, there's more than one. I don't know why I keep thinking of the expression. There's more than one way to skin the cat. It's a terrible saying, but it's true. Like there's more than one route, man.
That's the thing.
I don't know. My dad has said that to me too many times. So there's more than one route to get to D1 hockey or to the pros, and just your journey, Jacob's been awesome to watch. So we're fired up for you and all the boys returning for the Eagles this season. Might have some money on you guys. We'll see. And I just want the season to start.
Yeah, we'll catch you at one of the games. You guys, we might be on the road this weekend. I think we are, but you come to St. Cloud, which is an hour drive for us. If we're staying home, I will be there.
We'll be there.
That's going to be fun to play at. Have you played there before?
Another former teammate of mine in Youngstown my first year is Adam Ingram. So
he's nasty
for when he's on the ice. But I've heard it's a fun place to play. They're always a really good team. So we'll get another taste of the NCHC this year, and hopefully we get would that be our first win in the NCHC? So hopefully we get that.
That's a sick rank. Yeah, you'll love the student section there too. Look for the helmet guy. He'll be front row.
Tell the boys though, the boards don't give there at all.
They do not.
they do not.
Yeah, I've seen some clips. The glass looks pretty hard.
Yeah, if a puck comes off the backboard too, you better be ready because it's flying out there.
It's a cold rink.
It is.
Say that. Yeah, it'll be a fun one.
We have a pretty tough first.
Dude, you do.
I think we're Michigan State, and then we play AIC as our home opener. So that'll be another gritty first game of the year, and then I think we have an exhibition against the national team, and then the next week it's back to St. Cloud for 2. So
Hey man, those are
that
all
first month
like
of October is gonna be a grind.
those are all
God.
like for the most part ranked teams throughout the season, like top 20 teams. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Those
So
Big pairwise games for us, right?
pairwise is everything,
For
man.
sure.
It's I don't know what's. I think it's better to play one. It prepares you better to play better teams like that are in the rankings all year versus playing a team that's not and then getting there's that much more pressure on that game. You lose, you're kind of it hurts the pairwise all season long
For sure.
So
Yeah.
versus playing a high ranked team doesn't hurt you as much, especially like St. Cloud if you're at the Herb and stuff you're playing.
And
at.
non-conference, just like getting a high-ranked non-conference opponent, like that'll help.
No, I
you
like it.
down the
Strengthen the
stretch.
boys. But Jacob, best of luck this year. We'll definitely be in touch. And see you somewhere.
Go follow him, Jacob_Fowler24. We got to just get you a straight handle there instead of, but it's Jacob_Fowler24. Mash that follow button.
I like you wearing number 1 right before we let you go here. What you've worn it for a while, right? You wore it at Youngstown and obviously with BC here. Is that the number forever? And how do you come about choosing that one?
Yeah, so I mean, it's all kind of a funny story of how I ended up in Youngstown, and I was playing at South Kent, and if you remember, Jack LaFontaine of the Gophers signed in the NHL, and with that caused this, tug on the rope that Owen Bartoskevich, who was in Youngstown, got called into school mid-year to the Gophers, and I was the only other goalie in Youngstown's organization, and Bartoskevich was wearing number 43 at the time, so when I got there, they said you can either wear number 43 or number 1, and kind of a no-brainer that I wasn't going to wear number 43. So wore number 1, did good enough in it I kept it for year 2, and then when it came to going to BC, I didn't want to change anything again, so just stayed with it. So Trey had the experience over me with Team USA, so I had to go to 29 for that, but who knows? Hopefully playing in Montreal one day, I'll be there, but I don't think number 1's available. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, there you go.
Switch it up when you have to. Just don't go 43. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Anything but.
No, Jacob, thanks for coming on. That's Jacob Fowler of the Boston College Eagles. You'll see him this year between the pipes, lighting it up again. So
no doubt.
Let's that's a wrap for today. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate it, man.
All right, that was Jacob Fowler, number 1 in net. Number 1 pretty much everywhere. I mean, the guy's a brick, stone, shithouse, whatever you want to call him. He stops pucks for a living, and he's going to be doing that for a long time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the numbers over the years. I'm on the EP right now. It's just incredible what he's been able to do. You got to think that's going to continue this year at BC. I mean, if you're a betting man, I'd put the money there.
Is he actually seriously only 19 years old?
Yeah, dude, but just like look at the goals
insane.
against, man. Youngstown like 2.28, BC first year 2.14. I mean, God.
I mean, just like
World Juniors 2.59. Like he's
obviously his hockey background, but just the way that he speaks, he sounds like he's a 28-year-old vet. Like and that like he's seen everything. He's experienced a lot of stuff, obviously, but just to have that kind of poise at 19 is next level. And just like the way he even answered the question about David Carle, like how professional he is, how he was so he enjoyed shaking his hands, like he got the best of us. I hope he does the same if we're fortunate enough to flip the script this coming season. Like he's just professional all the way through, and you can see that on the ice. Like nothing really shakes him. And if I'm in the Hockey East right now, I'm obviously you've been scared, but I'm terrified.
Yeah,
like, this BC Eagles team is coming back. They're so loaded. They got so many guys returning. Even their captain, even Powell at the point. Like they are still a pretty veteran-loaded team with so much young talent coming in.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be scary. BU is gonna be really good too. Again, like those are 1-2. I think Maine's gonna be up there. Yep. Vermont, pack the gut.
You'd hope. Northeastern's going to be good. They got some big transfers in.
Like
it's going to be a competitive
loaded
Hockey
again.
East.
Like that's year, I want to see the Beanpot. Like
I wonder what Harvard's going to do. I don't know that's how Hockey East, but just I want them to have a good roster.
We do want to see Harvard back.
Yeah,
I'd
like to see them win a Beanpot.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. I want to see them back. Yeah, the Beanpot's going to be competitive.
Yeah,
it always is. Everybody shows up. So like that, just make it February
Obviously,
already.
I mean, myself included, but the BC fans are excited to see Hagen's come in this year. The projected number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft.
Dude, just going.
Yeah, man, we got to get out there.
Let me get through this roster again, just to get sorry. I mean, BU fans have tuned out for a while, so like we're just talking to the BC guys. I mean, all right. So they also got Brady Berard coming in from Providence.
Yeah, Berard, another one. Thank you for
not bad. Oscar Jelvik's back
Yeah.
Guy's nasty. Connor Joyce back. Brian Leonard, obviously. Gabe
Powell.
Perreault. Yep. Eamon Powell's back.
So they got, like you said,
Vogt
they have the
back.
captains coming back, which is a huge thing to have. You know,
Like this team is stacked.
Yeah.
So like I got Drew Fortescue back at the point.
he's back.
Yeah.
I thought he's. Yeah,
Am
and
I saying that one?
they're gonna be good. And like we talked with Fowler, you know, they got some experience though. They know what it's like to win the big games. They know what it's like to lose. So I think that helps prepare you for what's to come. And like you said, it's tough to win 35 games in a row, 34, whatever it is. Like, you know, they're just one short last year.
Andre Gasol back.
I'm
I'm gonna stop saying them. Everybody's basically
We're gonna
back.
see them in St. Louis.
Yep.
I think that's a fair bet. I think we could say
easily.
that. It's tough to win a championship.
Possibly
in
at
any
St. Cloud
sport, but
too.
Yeah,
I want to get out for that one.
Yeah, that'd be fun. If we're in town for that one, that'll be fun.
Mm.
So, no, thanks again to Jacob for coming on. Just a beauty.
What an interview.
Bauer
Yeah.
athlete too. We got to work with him. Bauer at the Frozen Four. That's where we first met him. But and then we saw him obviously watch his games, the Frozen Four. So, good guy, good team.
Great player.
Expect a lot of good things from the Eagles this year. So.
That was a fun one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out everywhere. Everything College Hockey, Team ECH on Twitter, and then echlocker.com.
Go
for our
subscribe to us on
website.
YouTube, everyone. If you're listening, we need the subbies.
Throw some
We
subbies around.
got more fun videos coming out this year. A lot been released, obviously, as we
Pods
mentioned
are
earlier
coming
in the
back
show.
on YouTube as well. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you're even seeing
Sub you up.
my face right now. I apologize.
Yeah.
But that'll be on YouTube.
As you
so
should apologize.
check it out.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week on Pucks and Deep.